Hello and welcome to my review of The Magnificent Seven, starring Denzel Washington and Pratt, directed by Antoine Fuqua. Here's a short version. This is a Western action film, clearly made by a director who loves the genre and a cast who are having a ball. For those of you who don't know, this is a remake of an homage. If you have not seen the original Magnificent Seven, you're missing out on a treat. If you have not seen Shichinin no Samurai, then you are robbing yourself of something very special. For those of you that have seen Seven Samurai, you will not be surprised to hear that it is not as layered nor as shot as well as Kurosawa's masterpiece. However, you might be surprised to hear that in one respect at least, it does surpass it, and that is the villain. Peter Sarsgaard plays a proper no-good swindler. No moral ambiguity, no tortured past. He doesn't quite twirl his moustache, but he is a wonderfully entertaining blackguard all the way through, and I would have liked a little bit more of him in the film. The rest of the cast all do a sterling job. Denzel Washington, I think, is physically incapable of turning in a bad performance. Pratt is essentially playing Peter Quill with a Stetson and spurs, and Ethan Hawke as Goodnight Robershaw, don't you just love that name, is clearly having a whale of a time playing a good old Louisiana boy. I like that the main cast features such ethnic diversity and such good beards. I get slightly tired of films and games and TV shows where the hero is a white guy with a bit of stubble. Although I think it would have been nice to feature at least one woman in the Seven, if for no other reason than I kind of have a thing for women in cowboy hats. One thing about the casting which I do feel was a missed chance to tackle racism in the film. The Seven includes an ex-Confederate soldier and a black man, a Mexican and someone who says that he doesn't like Mexicans, and a Native American and someone who made his living off selling Indian scalps. I would like to have seen a bit more racial tension between the characters. This would have allowed the remake to really stand out on its own. But as it is, it's a solid, enjoyable action film. And it is nice to see a director that knows how to shoot action and even knows how and when to use shaky cam and fast cuts. Antoine Fuqua uses nice, stable, wide shots to allow you to see all the action and the fancy gunplay, which the cast have obviously spent hours and hours practicing. Then, when the brown stuff hits the windmill, he uses a more frantic type of cinematography, and that really underlines the emotion of the scene. Now, I went to see this film in 4DX, which involves all sorts of special effects such as chairs that move, smoke machines and piping smells into the theatre. I'm not completely sold on it as a concept, but I do think that this was definitely the wrong type of film for it. The motion of the chairs feels very artificial, so when it's trying to convince you that you're on horseback, it just doesn't work, and it takes you out of the film rather than bringing you into it. I might try it again the next time I go and see something with spaceships.